What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? We are on number 38. Stream number 38. Alright, I'm feeling pretty good today. We going to be working on this painting again. This thing seems to be like rubbing up against here. Hold on. We're going to be working on this painting, and I got a new mount for my camera. That's really cool. I wish I could show it, but I can't really show it because it's the camera. But it's a pop socket thing. Like, it's a pop socket, like, thing that it slides into, and then it can wrap around anything. So I got it on this easel looking down, and it's working so much better than um, my last setup that I had. I got to figure out how to remote control this thing from OBS, because I have to like get up and touch it to like zoom in and focus and stuff. But anyway, all right, so we're gonna do some painting, some YouTube roulette, and I guess we'll go from there. All right, I'm gonna hit the roulette button. What do we got? FAA closes airspace around New Jersey for special security reasons. All right, let's check this out.
The White House's official stance on the mysterious drone flights over New Jersey is that they are nothing. Cases of mistaken identity and mass hysteria. They're nothing but planes, stars.
Here, you know what? While the video is playing, I'm just gonna put my mute on my headset so it's not picking up anything, because I feel like it's picking up like when I'm moving around. But yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna forget that I muted it like halfway through the stream, but we'll be fine. All right.
Stars, satellites, and lawfully operated drones. If that's the case, then why did the FAA announce today hundreds of square miles of airspace over New Jersey is suddenly closed for mysterious security reasons? We're going to break it down. I'm Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran. Let's talk about it. Okay, so this is a really interesting story. Sorry again, guys, two little admin notes. First, sorry, the quality of the video has taken a little bit of a hit. I'm traveling, but I'm still trying to cover these breaking stories, so I'm on sort of my travel recording setup. But more importantly, if you want to support the channel and think I'm putting out legitimate information and analysis, you want to hit that subscribe button. It helps tell YouTube that I'm not one of the crazy conspiracy theorists. Okay, so according to the FAA, just today, they've issued flight restrictions after concerns were raised by one of the New Jersey power companies. This is, of course, the Federal Aviation Commission, who issued drone flight restrictions in 22 new towns in New Jersey. This was prompted, they said, by concerns by PSE&G. This is the power generation and distribution company within the state of New Jersey. And again, the Representative Chris Smith from New Jersey, following a briefing on Thursday, said, quote, "It begs the question for something that they keep saying is nothing nefarious here. They seem to have some serious concerns about our power infrastructure." Now, none of those bands include the Jersey Shore, whose utility grid is covered by a different company. But Smith said at the briefing the new restrictions and additional bans have been requested by what he said were unnamed agencies, or new restrictions and additional bans are requested by what he said were unnamed agencies. agencies, right? And he said, I hope they do it sooner rather than later than leave another power grid at risk. And this is a very interesting drop because, again, they are very tight bans. Drone flights within a 1 mile nautical radius of designated areas.
So I'm going to say that again because I just realized I'm an idiot and I had this thing up. I apologize if I haven't been linking stuff in the description. That's what I was saying. I will have the link to this in the description after the video is over. Goodbye.
And what they're listed as is, quote, special security reasons in northern and western New Jersey. But none, of course, it says are along the shore, right? Now, this is really interesting for a bunch of reasons. But before we talk about sort of what I think is really going on here, I wanted to mention, first off, you should definitely check out some Strike Gum. What is Strike Gum? Strike Gum is my energy gum, right? This isn't a sponsor. This is my company. We're made in the USA, 90 milligrams of caffeine in each individual piece. If you're somebody who's been drinking energy drinks at $5 a pop, loaded with sugar, you need to really bring your energy into the 21st century, right? It's not 2006 anymore. You need a better alternative, and Strike Gum is just that. We're available on Amazon or on strikegum.com, so click the link in the description. Okay, so here's what I thought was interesting. First off, here's the FAA's website depicting a huge number of newly implemented bans, and the overall reason is listed as security, right? The same reason that Picatinny Arsenal, New Jersey, was also listed as a no-go zone several weeks ago. Which, again, weird because the government said that, again, these were just routine, these were just mistaken identity, right? You can see here again, you've got this special security reasons. Security, temporary flight restriction for special security reasons. Right? And this, I think, is really interesting. It's going on for about a month. So there's some problems with this. One, first and foremost, you've got this situation where there's a narrow window, right? Let's say the FAA said, hey, this is just a precaution to protect all of our power infrastructure. Well, we would say, hey, then why don't we do it nationally, right? If that's the threat. And if they'd say, well, if it's just a precaution in general, well, why is it have a narrow 1 month window? And so this to me indicates that there is something else going on here. Now, again, it's not a secret that many military installations and other sensitive sites, this is something that even the White House has confirmed, have experienced drone flyovers, and that the U.S. military struggles to stop these drones in any kind of meaningful way. And they don't really have a great sense of the origins of these drones or who's operating them. And while in some cases they're able to trace the drones, these are usually one-off, right? An individual, oftentimes a Chinese national, that seems to be the norm, who flies a Radio Shack grade drone over top a sensitive military installation. Those people are quickly caught. The footage, of course, already is sent to the Chinese intelligence, but those individuals are caught and deported. And usually when they do this, they're near the end of their visas anyway. Oftentimes they finish their education and are just pending deportation, or pending the end of their visa. And so they're deported back to China, where they're welcomed as heroes, never to return to the United States again, right? But those are like the amateur hour stuff. Someone is doing a professional job. And this is something that, again, even the White House has said when they put out their statement 2 days ago. They said, quote, or something to the effect of, civilian airspace has no known drone threats, which is a weird thing to say, because there are no drone threats. Just they're not a threat in civilian airspace, which implies that military airspace has a drone threat problem. And so this is the kind of thing that I think is why no one trusts what the White House says. Of course, the White House also has a real problem with the truth in general, given their, concealing, for example, the president's cognitive decline. But when you look at these, you see that somebody in the feds believes that over the next month, what I think is actually happening, I don't think this is a new pending threat. I think what they've done is, and the feds have been honest about this, again, in order to detect those things that are absolutely not drones, they've brought in drone detection technology, highly sophisticated radar, electronic detectors, and if you are going to run those, what you want to do is avoid accidents. And so this is likely part of that. They're trying to say, listen, we want to make sure the canvas that we are deploying this radar in is as blank as possible. We want to minimize the amount of drone traffic. So we're saying, listen, everything that's below commercial flight height, we are just going to put the kibosh on. So that way, if we do see a drone, we know that it's operating illicitly. It's also possible that they're doing this in order to create a sort of perimeter that criminalizes drones that fly within them, right? Let's say, for example, right now the U.S. said, listen, who enforces sort of drone, like let's say you were to fly in civilian airspace at night. It may be totally legal for these drones to do it. And that itself might be a problem. Because again, let's say you sit a few miles off of Naval Weapons Station Earl. You fly your drone up, and then you just have it hover there. You're in civilian airspace. You're operating an authorized drone in a lawful manner. But you're spying on a naval weapons facility. So the U.S. government may say, listen, what we're going to do is add a bunch of these little traps and say, we are going to find the people who operate these drones. They're going to accidentally fly into this restricted airspace, and then they'll have committed a violation that we can then bust them for, right? We can charge them with federally or with violating a federal drone ban, and we can actually try to get to the bottom of this. Now, these are all sort of theories as to why this is taking place. Ultimately, though, to me, the thing to take away from this is the federal government on some level believes there is some kind of threat. Again, or not threat, but some kind of nefarious activity that they don't have full control over. Because remember, if these were U.S. government authorized flights, if there were real drones and they were operated by a government program, you wouldn't need to symbolically restrict this airspace, right? You would just sort of say, well, it's all mass hysteria, don't worry about it, there's nothing going on here, which is not even quite what the White House said. So I'm going to keep you guys abreast of this story as it continues. Of course, a huge thank you to the Kernel Tier members. You guys know I'm fully independent. I don't take money from governments, media companies, and I rarely even take money from sponsors anymore. And that's because I have you guys. So thanks to James Sterling, Steve Moran, Doug Beck, Alan Knudsen, Bastian Himmeling, Brian Kelly, Del McCombs, James Olin, Henry Bruce here, as well as all of our lieutenants.
A delusional psychopath tried swatting someone. What happens next will shock you. Dusting off the old Darman reference here for this one. So some miserable, horrible lady tried to swat someone. I'm sure I don't need to explain what swatting is. It's a horrible, bad thing that'll land you permanently on Santa Claus's naughty list. And this lady looks and sounds like she's one glass of wine away from passing out face first into her copy of 50 Shades of Grey. But in between bouts of consciousness, she decided to commit a huge crime of swatting.
Oh, no.
And boy howdy, the shoe went on the other foot real quick. They actually found her. And when they brought her into custody, she started launching sonic-based attacks at the officers. It's a wild ride that I can't wait to take you on, thanks to Code Blue Cam here providing all of the footage. We get a POV of what it's like to encounter a real-world banshee. But before we even see her, let's go ahead and get brought up to speed with the lore. The call, the emergency that she phoned in.
Hi, there's a man with a gun, shooting with a gun. Can you spell the street, ma'am? I can't understand you. Do you have me on speakerphone? He's shooting with a gun. I understand that, and I'm going to send help, but I need to understand the street name. Okay, and who is shooting with a gun? There's a man. Okay, what is the man's name? I have no idea. Okay, how do you know this is going on? Oh my God, he's also with a gun shooting rabbits. Okay, how do you know this is going on? Oh my God, because I can see him shooting rabbits. He's shooting everywhere. Answer my questions. How do you know this is going on?
No doubt she's a classically trained actress. That is a very convincing performance. Those acting chops could bring a tear to the eyes of even Margot Robbie. And she is using it for evil. nefarious purposes. So she's talking about a man who's shooting. He's shooting rabbits. He's shooting everywhere. And refuses to give any, like, real info, and then, like, pauses after the operator's asking her how she even knows this is going on. She doesn't answer and then just hangs up.
Based on the nature of the call, all on-duty Brookfield police officers responded to the area immediately.
Bravo 521, I'm 23. There's nothing going on here. This is most likely a swatting call.
Dispatch later informed that the female caller had reached out again, stating she could see the man on her cameras and that he was still firing his weapon.
Oh,
they sent out the whole kit and caboodle like they were about to bring down Cobra Commander. They got there, found nothing, but then the mysterious caller reaches out again, saying the same thing, that this maniac is out there.
Yeah, dude, I've seen this video. This is ridiculous. She literally is like, if I'm right, she literally calls back like 5 or 6 times, and they're like, they're like, if you call us again, you're gonna get arrested.
Firing his weapon. There's a maniac on the loose, and we gotta get him. Only the officers were there. There was no gunshots. They even searched the area for casings, found nothing. They asked the homeowner nearby, nothing. So they were pretty confident it was a swatting call.
While clearing the scene, the female continued to call 911 repeatedly from an unknown number. A sergeant instructed the clerks to forward all her calls to his desk phone.
She called them again and again and again, repeatedly just spitting this fraudulent fairy tale, this gobbledygook horseradish. I don't know what she was even fucking thinking at this point. She's like the Riddler, but 50 times as stupid. She's the shittler. So she's over there just spewing this shit. They are at the scene, so they know it's not real, and they just start forwarding those calls to Ace Detective Phoenix Wright's personal desk phone, and he happens to recognize her voice from previous interactions.
Wonderful.
Let that sink in for a moment. Marinate on that thought. A police officer interacts with so many people, and most of those interactions, I imagine, aren't overly positive. Do you know how annoying you have to be to have an officer remember your voice? That you were such a fucking nuisance that your voice left an imprint in their brain that even just audibly hearing you can...
And it's not even like hearing them. It's literally like he recognizes her drunk ass voice, you know? Like everybody has like their drunk voice. You can clearly hear that girl's, but...
Activate a Winter Soldier moment for them where they remember your name and everything. All because you stained them with how annoying you were.
When she called again, he recognized her voice from previous interactions. A quick in-house database check soon revealed her identity as 36-year-old Ashley Corbin.
Is that consistent with what you say you're observing?
Yeah.
Okay, we have gone to the area where you have claimed this has been happening 3 times tonight?
Yeah.
Yep, you've seen us there?
Yeah.
So he got asshole Ashley on the horn here in order to corroborate these reports, saying that you've called 10 times now all about this. We've been out there and have seen nothing. And she's just like a broken record saying, yeah, yep, yes. Like she is a malfunctioning NPC. All she can say is, yeah. And he's just pressing her like, hey, we didn't see anything. You know, what's going on? She eventually says that the guy shooting is on camera. So the officer says, well, we'd love to see that footage. Shocker, she's got no footage to show.
I would love to see the video footage if that's something that you could provide for us, because we have been unable to locate him. And I sent an officer to look at that with you.
No, we want him to be stopped.
What's going to happen moving forward, we're going to be conducting an investigation for swatting. Are you familiar with that term?
I hope so. I hope that you guys are going to take him, his property into custody and investigate his whole property. I pray to God.
Well,
her body is screaming for water, but the only thing it's getting is more and more wine. She is plastered. You can clearly hear it. She is not able to process at all what's happening here. He's even telling her to her face that they are investigating her for swatting, and she's like, oh, thank heavens. Goodness gracious, it's about time you guys do your job. He's an absolute menace out there. He's shooting, and you need to go investigate his property. You need to take his property. I pray to God you go take his property. This and that. She doesn't realize what is happening here at all. Like, swatting is a very serious thing. Again, I'm sure you're all familiar with it, but people die from swatting. So it's something that's taken super seriously here. And she is not able to wrangle that fact at all.
Well, we're worried about our kids.
Yep, you've said that a couple times, ma'am. If you were so worried about your kids, I think you'd be willing to talk to an officer about it.
Are you kidding me? Do you really
So,
really?
Yep. We're gonna pull the phone records from the phone company. We'll write the subpoena. Have you had any drinks tonight, ma'am?
Are you crazy?
No, ma'am. I'm trying to conduct this investigation for you.
Are you a crazy person?
Nope.
He's been shooting rabbits and doing all kinds of stuff.
He started to sniff out that she might be intoxicated, but Ashley's putting on a strong show of sobriety to throw him off the trail. Drunk? Me? No. You crazy? You a crazy person? Is that what's going on here?
So, we're gonna end this. He's gonna pay us $1,500.
Oh, that's good for you.
Yeah, sure is.
Her neurons started to desperately fire as the realization must have started to sink in that they're not buying her story. So she starts to panic a little bit and tries to write a conclusion to the fanfic about how they just shook hands with $1,500 and everything's hunky-dory now. No need to send any pesky officers out there to check anything out because it's all squared away now, huh? Job well done.
Ashley Corbin, I remember her.
That's who I think it is. I think it's Ashley. Hello?
Holy.
Is this Ashley?
Yeah, no, this is not Ashley.
Okay. This is Sergeant Griebling with the Brookfield Police Department. You called us?
Who is Ashley?
I thought this was Ashley.
Why would you think that?
The tables turn. The officers are pretty sure it's Ashley, so they call her this time to try and confirm those suspicions. And I think it's pretty obvious from the second she answers the phone, they got her. But she's trying to play it cool. Ashley? No, this is not Ashley. What makes you think it's Ashley? My name is Bourne. I'm actually surprised she answered this call with her normal inebriated voice instead of trying to fool them, throw a monkey wrench into their hypothesis by answering the phone with an accent or something.
Oh, no, she didn't even know
Top
it
of
was
the
them.
morning to ya! You know, something like that, and they'd be like, oh, well, clearly it can't be Ashley. This caller wasn't Irish, so we got the wrong person.
Guess what? My name's Lindsay. You can stop calling me Ashley. Thank you.
Okay. You should probably slow down on the drinking tonight, man.
You should probably fucking stop being a fucking bitch.
Okay.
How about that?
The call starts to devolve into her treating this call like it's an Xbox Live lobby, so she just keeps calling him a bitch. It really gets very interesting. It's like a League of Legends chat at this point.
It was also revealed that Ashley had an active felony warrant and had repeatedly called another police agency earlier that day using vulgar and profane language.
Sorry. Whoa. Where's he?
Oh, dude, I remember this. This is ridiculous.
Chris? No.
Come on, let's go, bud.
Come on.
We get some more lore on Ashley, and the deeper it gets, the more confused I become at how someone can end up like Ashley. She was apparently calling another police agency that day as well to spew some mumbo-jumbo, and then they eventually find her outside with her dog,
I think
and then
she's like a
yanking on the dog's
prolific, like,
leash,
trying
which
to sue
eventually
the police
pops the
department
leash
type of
off of the
person.
dog, and then she has to go on the side quest to get the dog back to get it inside. It's quite a journey.
I want my attorney present.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. So I'm not going to talk to anybody without my attorney present.
Very well. I will pass on the Brookfield, and we'll see what they say.
After a lengthy mission, they do finally get the dog, and the way she's holding him, she's holding it like it's a bioweapon. I've never seen someone hold a dog like that in my fucking life. She's got
smashed, that's
the
why.
dog's wiener pointed at the officers. I think she was hoping that he'd start peeing or something as a distraction so she could make a run for it. I don't know. But she's like holding the dog almost like it's the fucking Heisman Trophy or something. Like, I don't get what she's doing, like, with that dog. I feel terrible for the dog. Honestly, the best thing that could have happened is the dog gets off the leash and finds a new owner. Because she seems remarkably fucking lost and beyond off her gourd.
So, no, I'm not doing a swatting thing with a Brookfield. Are you kidding me? That is a serious. Ken is a psycho.
I don't even know who Ken is.
The guy.
We honestly don't know much of what's going on.
We were told here to come pick you up, that you have a warrant, and Brookfield wants to talk.
I date a Brookfield officer.
Whoa.
Okay. My man is an officer. Okay. I'm not gonna say because I don't want to.
You just said Singleton.
It's pretty clear that this woman is a pathological liar, and it only gets worse. She throws out some really heinous accusations in her
that's
bit.
right.
So right now,
She
she's
says
talking about
that,
how
like, they
she
hit
wasn't
her and,
behind
like,
the
raped
swatting.
her.
That's a very serious joke. That's not a knee slapper or a gut buster that you make gags out of. She would never do such a thing like that. And then she's talking about how she actually dates an officer. Won't name his name, but she dates an officer, and he probably wouldn't like what's happening here. He probably wouldn't like it. So her whole idea here, I think, was to try and, like, I don't know, say like, hey, I date an officer, so I shouldn't be arrested.
Yeah.
You know?
Let me off.
I think that was the plan. It doesn't work, but I think that's what she was going for.
You need to go.
No, you're good. Well, we got.
Can you please come out?
Hey, be respectful.
No, you can take it.
I was trying to go to the basement. I didn't know I was going to serve.
It's actually incredible how unlikable this woman is. Just
Dude,
normal
yeah, she
person
yells
coming
at
out of the
that
elevator
fucking
doing
old lady.
normal activities, and she yells at them to get out. Like, what the fuck? How could someone possibly be this much of an insufferable piece of shit? It's
drunk.
actually impressive.
That was kind of rude.
I am rude. I'm sorry.
That lady did nothing to you.
I'm a surgeon.
What?
I'm a surgeon. I am. So I'm very particular. So
What does that have to do with yelling at a lady?
I'm sorry.
Now she's saying that she's a surgeon. She just randomly blurts out that she's a
Bro, that's
surgeon.
terrifying.
It's like a child when they're like making up a story when playing pretend, like SpongeBob and SquarePants in that box of imagination. That's her whole brain. I'm spitting. I'm actually spitting. That's how disgusted this woman makes me. She can't stop lying.
Yeah, dude. It, like, physically makes me, like, mad. Because, oh, dude, I hate people that get drunk like that. It's so annoying.
For even a second, and she can't stop being a piece of shit to people around her. And like the officer's even telling her, like, that was rude. Like, this was just a person using this elevator, and now you're yelling at them. And she's like, I'm a surgeon! I'm a surgeon! I'm a surgeon! I like things to be particular. And I'm like, what? What? What does that have to do with anything?
I do stuff like very particular. Like I do brain surgery.
Okay, let's take a left.
So it's very particular.
So does that mean you can be an asshole to people?
I don't deal with people. So it's like I deal with digging in people's brains and digging in. I'm sorry. That's what I do. You dig in, you go and deep 5, and that's it.
Brain surgeon.
I like how she almost tried to drop some kind of scientific terms like, well, brain surgery, you see, it's actually very complicated, and it's why I'm a little particular about things. I don't deal with people, I'm dealing with brains. You know, you have to go D5. You know, knight to D5. You know, you saw it in Harry Potter when they're playing wizard's chess. Like, you guys wouldn't get it. I won't bore you with the jargon that you couldn't possibly understand with your tiny, feeble minds. Just know that because I'm a brain surgeon, it gives me the right to yell at people. And it gives me the right to call police departments 20 times a night reporting false crimes. Because,
what a dumb
it's what I
thing
like
to go to
do
jail for.
as a
Like,
brain
what a,
surgeon.
like, stupid
You're lying,
fucking
and
thing.
you used me as a scapegoat under the bridge. You guys were harassing me under the bridge.
I
There
bet she
were no
actually
cameras
thinks
under
that's
there,
happening.
And you guys were harassing me or me under the bridge.
She also left like a big bag of beer in front of someone's door, and
What's up?
You guys me in the elevator.
Okay.
Yep.
We have body cameras.
And I have marks.
We have body cameras, and if you want
And so do I.
to file a false police report, we can go down that road.
You're lying.
Her next series of lies isn't nearly as humorous as her brain surgeon
that's fucked up,
storyline,
dude.
where, you know, she received a lobotomy, thus she thinks she's a brain surgeon now or whatever. This one, she starts to try and spin a false rape accusation
That's
about
so
how
fucked
they
up.
were raping her on the elevator and under a bridge.
Dude.
What they did to me, how they me.
Nobody's gonna. We're just having to exit the car.
Yep, and how they me.
Yeah, let's go.
Yep, how he me and how this guy me.
Everybody.
And this guy me. What is your name? Stop! I'm talking too loud. You me. I'm talking too loud. You me.
Ashley.
You me. He me. He me. This guy.
She now embarks on the Screaming Gambit. This is a pretty advanced maneuver you don't see executed super often, never to any degree of success, where the person just then starts screeching and squealing. And it's what she does for the rest
That's
of
like
the
being
video.
drunk and
So
like
she's still screaming, that they raped her when there is body cam footage to prove that did not happen. That is a blatant lie. All she does is endlessly lie. It's craziness. And that is a awful thing to be lying about. And she's screaming it, and I think the idea was to try and like incite anger, to have like maybe people come in and like, I don't know, push over the officers to save her or something. I don't know what she's even trying to do with that accusation when there's clearly evidence that proves contrary. I think it's to try and like get out of the arrest.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
No, she's trying to
but
sue
it is
them.
unhinged
That's what it is.
lunacy.
I guarantee you, if I remember correctly, when I watched the original video of that, like the whole thing, that she had sued the police department or something in the past for like something like that. And that she was like known to like try to always get lawsuits against like people, police stations, and basically scam people with like false, you know, information, which is absolutely bananas. Like, that's so crazy. That's like ruining people's lives, like just intentionally. Wow, this is not going well on this line. Oh my god, I keep fucking it up. That's okay. The color that's going to be next to it will be able to fill it in. Damn, man, I really fucked that one up. Alright. Dude, she screams
Ashley,
so
turn back
much.
around. Ashley, get back on the bench. Ashley, you need to sit on the bench right now.
When she eventually does get to the station, she lets out her best Joker laugh that she can muster. And to her credit, it's a pretty maniacal, cartoonishly evil laugh that she pulled off. It's pretty impressive.
Stand up.
Ow! Now you broke my arm!
Sit.
Now you broke my arm!
Ashley, you need to sit down.
You broke my arm!
Oh my god.
Ashley, you need to sit up.
Dude.
Lord have mercy on all the poor souls that were watching this with headphones on.
I turned it down. I'm sorry.
So she's now claiming they broke her arm when they went over to try and get her to sit up. They didn't actually even lift her, by the way. The second they like touched her, then she started.
Hey, what's up, man? What does it say? I got vacation now, man. So happy. Oh, nice. Oh, so you're like officially on vacation? That's dope. And I dropped my daughter off this morning. Today's her last day. Yeah, last day before vacation. And then she's got 2 weeks off, basically, for school. So I'm excited about that, too. I actually have to go out some point today before she gets out of school to go finish Christmas shopping. Because I have a few more things I need to get. Which actually, I'm so glad I stopped at Walgreens. Because it's like, dude, almost every single thing is like 33% off or something. Or like buy one, get one free. And they have like a ton of toys that they have at like, you know, Walmart and stuff that I wanted to get. And they're all like on sale. So I'm going to try to do that. Oh, does it sound weird? Alright, hold on. I'm going to switch it back to the way I used to have it. I'm trying to use this mic. I think that's why. I think for Christmas, I think I have a present that is a microphone. So, hopefully that'll change. Hold on, let me see. I gotta switch it back to the laptop one. Or actually, I can switch it to my phone. Hold on. Hello? Oops. I think that's where it was. Check, 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 check. Does that sound better? I switched it to that camera, which is my phone. So I figure that probably sounds better, right? Oh, is it? Okay, cool. And it's like right above me, so I'm guessing it'll be a little bit better. Okay, cool. Nearly Christmas, bro. Vibe is so good everywhere. I know. Just got to get the freaking presents done. I went shopping yesterday with my mom too, and we got like a lot of like clothes type presents, all stuff like that. But I really only need to get like a few more toys and stuff like that. And like slime and art type stuff. But man, this thing keeps rubbing up against here. Oh, really well. What's that? Held a message for a reason. Oh, I can allow it. No, I don't think so. I feel like, and honestly, if you are like I think it's more about what you're using uh, to do that with. You know what I mean? I'm trying to say it as cleanly as I can. You know what I mean? Um, so like, you know, if you're watching, I guess it really depends on what you're watching. You know what I mean? Because the act itself is not a bad thing. Um, because I mean, I have had girlfriends in the past that were like absolutely did not understand it at all and thought it was like almost like a form of cheating, which they just did not understand that it's basically it's a health thing too. I mean, like I said in previous streams, I don't know if you were here. Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's usually the bad thing, but you can, you know, especially when you're younger, like gives you this complete false sense of what it's supposed to be like, which I feel like needs to be taught like a lot earlier. That is not normal. It's like a movie. Like it just needs to be like ingrained in our heads when we're younger. That is a movie, and you're basically looking at special effects. You know, that's how I like to think of it. It took me a long time to realize that, though. Like I never was taught that, and I thought that was how it's supposed to be. But yeah, it's definitely hard because like I know, you know, some people can get really like addicted to that, but oh, that's what I was gonna say. Because I went on testosterone a little over a year ago because my actual levels were super low because of like a medical reason. So one of the things that the doctor really said was like, it's going to make you want to do that more, and that it's completely fine and healthy to do it. So I think it's just a normal bodily thing. It's a release, but the act of getting there is what a lot of people have problems with. I think is the the core stuff. Yeah, exactly. As long as you realize what it is, and there are other ways of watching it that you're not supporting like the the fucked up industry that it is. Honestly, I think that's why like only that website has become so popular, is because it's not all of them, but because there's definitely like some groups on there that where there's a person controlling a bunch of people, but the people who do it independently, like they basically get to choose exactly what they want to do, and they're not really like but it's hard because that shit already exists, on the internet, and it being so readily available. I just wish that like in our like sex ed classes, I mean, who knows, maybe they do cheat better now, but I doubt it. It's a good question though. It definitely messes up your mind. 100%. I can say that, yeah. Especially to younger guys who haven't been like through a couple relationships. It must be so confusing. But like I said, the best way to explain it to somebody is, hey, those are basically like action movies. But in real life, it's not going to be like that. Or if you ever just watch a behind the scenes of like how they actually film stuff like that, that really kind of opens your mind to like what actually happens, because it is not at all what people think. Oh no worries, man. Yeah, have a nice day. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, we're gonna hit 25. I know it. We're at what, 14 right now? I gotta try to start going on like later, towards the nighttime, like here in America, because I feel like that's what everybody's on. But I'll still come on around now though, because everybody in Europe is like getting out of school. Alright, peace, bro. Have a good day. I'll see you in the next one.
Saying that they broke her arm. Another bogus baloney fib here. Liar, liar, plants for hire. Holy cannoli. And now she is absolutely wailing. She is sounding like a Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare. She sounds like if Toucan Sam ate a ghost pepper.
What audio is that picking up?
I see for swatting.
Oh, there we go.
She goes on and on and on and on
God.
and on. It sounds like a screaming goat meme. So that's kind of where that concludes, but she did receive some charges for it, but really got let off super easy. She, I think, only spent like 6 months in jail for blatant swatting, and she should be counting her lucky stars that they didn't try and pursue some kind of false rape accusation charges as well. I don't know if that's something they even could do, but I'm surprised they didn't try. Like, this really could have been a lot worse for Ashley. Swatting is something that is extremely serious. So she got let off very easily. And man, what a fucking nuisance she is. Holy. That's really about it. Yeah.
Alright. Someday I'm gonna program a giant red button that I can just hit that roulette's the YouTube video. I can just keep going, boom, roulette. I don't know why I never put that in the title either. YouTube roulette. I don't think anybody else does that. Arr! Must hit the button. Here, I'll just pretend. Alright, here we go. Hold on. I gotta put the paint down. I need to hit something big. Okay, here we go. How am I gonna hit it at the same time? Alright, ready? Alright. YouTube roulette! We must spin the button! A little bit slower than I thought. The worst Soyboy on YouTube. Oh man. TomDark has been going at it with this kid. Alright, fuck it, let's watch it.
Hello, my name is Tom.
Wait. Dude, he is... Oh man, he made a full video on this? Okay.
And today we're going to talk about this guy. His name is
Soyboy.
Jake. Everyone say hi, Jake.
What's it like being 5'1"?
Now, Jake is a commentary channel on YouTube, a guy who calls out other people for their misdeeds. But Jake is not just like any other commentary channel, no. Instead, he's a part of a very specific race of commentary creators, a specific phenotype.
Orange peanut. Now, I'm not talking about Donald Trump's testicles. Oh, yeah.
It's a group of people that all look the same, act the same, think the same, and talk the same.
Fascist propaganda and gamer streamer should not be saying the same thing. Fascist propaganda, fascist propaganda.
It's a stereotype that you guys know by now, this sort of inoffensive dude with no angles on their face. Sometimes they'll have like a weird mullet, sometimes they'll have a quiff, sometimes they'll have a little bit of patchy facial hair.
Wait, what the fuck's a quiff?
But whatever the case, they always have the same exact opinions that you would think a guy that looks like that would have.
That the Boogaloo Boys are known for wearing Hawaiian shirts. And guess who else always has on a Hawaiian shirt, despite the fact that he publicly totally does not share their beliefs, guys.
Everyone recently found out about Jake Doolittle because he uploaded an insane video where he demanded that people donate to his charity and then threatened to expose other commentary YouTubers for not donating to his charity.
I'll give a bunch of examples about how YouTubers have ghosted me and not wanted to help with Never Stop.
But one of the weirdest things that Jake let slip in this video was that he had a history of controversies, a history of past actions that have led other YouTubers to not want to associate with him.
And because I made a video that wasn't received well a year ago, people don't want to work with me.
And it got me thinking, what the freak has Jake Doolittle been up to that's so bad? It's a story that involves stalking, blackmail, knee surgery, low testosterone, and most importantly,
I got low testosterone.
knee surgery. So today we're going to go into all of that and much more as we delve into the deep, dark depths of the Jake Doolittle iceberg. Now, before Jake got into
I do have to say, it is pretty funny how this whole, like, testosterone thing seems to be, like, a huge fad right now, but I, like, legitimately needed it. Like, I was basically a girl. It was crazy. My testosterone levels were, like, in the single digits. It was ridiculous. The doctor was like, dude, there is something severely wrong. So, now I look at the shots every week. And after a year, it has definitely made a difference, I have to say.
YouTube, he actually had a very different passion, and it was dance.
So this is a shout out. where's the camera? Test your levels, okay? If you're a guy and you're like in your 30s, test your levels. You might be surprised.
He's a very esteemed, astute dancer. He does a great job at it. Frankly, I'm jealous. But he really got into the whole YouTube thing, doing this whole nice guy bread tuber shtick a few years ago. And his most popular video was doing a collab with Drew Gooden. And the content isn't really anything that special. It's mostly just boring. But if you sift through the videos, there is actually a gold mine of stuff here. Like when he's talking about body positivity and he ends up going into extreme detail about how bad his acne is and how he picks it and how he just can't stop picking it.
I've been posting a video every single day for almost 2 months. It stresses me out. I get acne. And then with my acne, when I get stressed out, I pick at it.
Like there was no reason to give this rant. He just volunteered this information. I do not know why. Jake's actual content, though, is pretty formulaic in terms of its style. It's honestly boring, apart from when you find a classic clip of him just saying something or doing something embarrassing. Like taking comedians and looking at their past sets and being like, that aged like milk. That actually aged very badly.
It's fascinating to me that a comedian who bases all of his characters off of stereotypes, dangerous stereotypes if you will, is still one of the top-selling comedians of all time.
Kind of problematic, sweetie.
Fascist propaganda.
But one of the earliest beefs that he had, if you can even call it that, with Jake is I think a perfect representation of his content. There's another content creator guy named Orange Peanut, okay, also known as Tony.
I will oil up and do the thug shaker.
And he makes like drama current events content. But at one point he made a video on the fat acceptance movement on TikTok, which is basically when really fat people cope about being fat and talk about how it's actually healthy. This is not like a normal fat overweight person thing. This is like insane overweight person thing, delusional, online, insane. The people need to accept us blobs into society. Airlines need to make giant benches for us to sit on so we have space. And basically Tony would just roast these guys and tell them to go to the gym. That was pretty much the video.
Remember that I was an elite athlete for 18 years in one of the hardest sports in the world.
Doing what?
And then
Speed
got a
eating?
full ride.
But Jake saw this video and he had a huge problem. No one was going to roast his fat queens like that, not even Tony, all right? So he made a response video titled "Fat Acceptance is a Bad Thing," trying to call out Tony for being fat phobic, which a lot of you probably don't know is a real term, but it is, and it's actually recognized by the Boston Medical Center, so the West is truly fallen.
And
I'm sick of it, man. Just like, dude, I really hope, it feels like there is a change coming that I really hope is going to happen, because shit has gotten to the point where you can't say anything anymore. Like, it's fucking annoying, I have to say. Especially in my country, like, for a country that has fucking free speech, I feel like we're walking on goddamn eggshells all the time. When in the 90s or in fucking early 2000s, man, nobody gave a fuck. Shit's ridiculous.
Back with another video. Orange Peanut. Now, I'm not talking about Donald Trump's testicles. Oh, yeah.
In this video, Jake calls out Tony for just generally being a big meanie, and then he tries to roast him back by talking about his icky armpit stretch marks.
Like, I understand that this guy's accepting of his, I don't know, armpit bruises.
To which Tony responded by saying, LOL, you are fat.
He's got some chunk to him. He is definitely a bit chunky. Jake Doolittle cardio?
But easily the most insane thing that Jake did in this video is when he out of nowhere accuses Tony of like not respecting girls' consent for some reason.
It's a possibility that you can't do certain things, like bench an unconsenting girl, right, Orange Peanut? Bench an unconsenting girl. Bench an unconsenting girl. Bench an unconsenting girl. Bench an unconsenting girl.
Literally completely out of left field, he just drops that little nugget for no reason, no baseline, just assuming that because this guy is slightly buff, he must be a evil frat guy and doesn't care about girls consenting or something. I don't even know.
We went from nice, lighthearted roasts about appearances and background and content to all of a sudden you're accusing me of not caring about consent of girls?
Now, Tony obviously responded to that, and after this point in time, apparently Jake messaged him to apologize for the comment he made, where he kind of implied that he was rapey. The video is still up to this day, but the comments are disabled, and I assume he used YouTube Editor to trim that part out because I can't find it anymore. But at this point in time, this controversy didn't really extend beyond these two people's audiences. Nobody was talking about it. But I do think looking back, that little jab, that little twist of the knife that Jake pulled there is somewhat indicative of what his future content
Why didn't Elon just buy YouTube? Wow, I'm an idiot.
Eventually, Rob's Media would upload The Fall of Jake Doolittle, where he documented a string of very weird drama between Jake and Ethan Klein that no one had really seen or talked about before outside of their audiences. Essentially, Jake had uploaded a hit piece on Ethan Klein titled Ethan Klein Harmful or Hypochondriac. Apparently on the H3 podcast, Ethan had been talking about how he thought he had lupus, which is an autoimmune disease where your immune system attacks healthy parts of your body. You may also recognize this as the disease that every patient doesn't have on house.
I don't think this is lupus. No, it's infection, lupus, drugs, or cancer. No, I think lupus is way more likely. Treat him for lupus. That will get you fine.
But all jokes aside, lupus is a very serious disease. If you have it, it can be very life-ruining. And so understandably, Ethan was pretty rattled about the prospect and wanted to talk about it. But it turns out that thankfully, Ethan Klein did not actually have lupus, and he later joked about it on a live stream.
But if you look up all the ones that I'm abnormal for, it all is like, you have leukemia or lupus. I'll take lupus any day, bro. Hit me with that lupus.
And this is where Jake comes in, because apparently, if you didn't know, it was super wrong, and not only wrong, it was extremely problematic that Ethan would make light of such a serious condition after he thought that he actually had it.
Hit me with that lupus.
Okay, I'm being so silly in this. Yeah. Obviously, the premise of choosing one illness over another is silly and absurd. But go ahead and explain why jokes aren't funny.
Not only undermines people who have lupus.
You know what undermines people? You is sitting there pretending to be a doctor.
This video from Jake is a hit piece on Ethan, make no mistake, and it really relies on the assertion that Ethan Klein claimed to have lupus. He then profited from it, and then after that point in time when he profited, he admitted to fabricating everything because he self-diagnosed himself without experiencing serious symptoms.
If I were Ethan, I would feel terrible for receiving donations from people who have a confirmed diagnosis.
Now, Jake even insinuates here that Ethan is both sexist and racist, and his reasoning for that is that he he cites data that lupus disproportionately affects women to a 90% factor versus 10% in men, and is also more prevalent in people of color. Therefore, Ethan is like hurting black women or something.
African American, Hispanic / Latina, Asian American,
you're racist too, dude.
and other Pacific Islander women than among white women. With all that being said, now that you know a little bit about what lupus is, let's go back to someone who admittedly doesn't know what lupus is.
I don't even know what the fuck lupus is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you said it.
Checkmate.
What a liar.
Here I am being super transparent and upfront about everything.
While also at the same time, he had to bring out a real breadtuber thing here. He accused Ethan Klein of engaging in classist behavior.
Fascist propaganda.
And again, if we're going to take Ethan's word for it, he had gone through almost all the steps to verify everything. It was a genuine concern that he had. So he was essentially in the process of figuring out if he had lupus. He was very scared about the idea of having it.
The episode was going fine until Ethan said something unexpected.
This morning, it was going fine until Ethan started opening up, being vulnerable about his scary medical issues.
Lying.
And Jake just kind of accused him of lying about it intentionally to profit from donations, as if Ethan even needs more donations. I mean, look, this guy is very rich, all right? We know what he's been up to with Teddy Fresh. He's got a lot of money. I don't think he needs an extra couple $100s from fans donating to the H3 podcast. So obviously this video from Jake was very bad, and it received a very bad reaction, not only from his own audience, but also from those outside of it. And so as a result, H3 would make an entire stream dedicated to making fun of Jake. Even other fellow breadtubers would see this video and they'd comment like, dude, you're grasping at straws right now. It's kind of embarrassing and cringe. Now, because Jake was in controversy and he is a commentary YouTuber, you would expect that he would, I don't know, at least have some kind of rebuttal. Maybe he would double down and he would have some kind of justification for why he said what he said. Maybe he would apologize for it and be like, look guys, I effed up. But instead, he took a very interesting route. I will do anything to make this stop. The death threats telling me to end myself and saying I was never sick in the first place is something I cannot handle. I was trying to make a video from the perspective of a sick person and it didn't connect with everyone. I was in the hospital last week after posting the video and I legitimately cannot handle.
This guy needs to get off the fucking internet then. Like, if he's really that bad off, like, if that's really, like, if that's affecting him that much, he needs to get off the internet, or he needs to just go to Blue Sky or something. Because if it's affecting you that much, that's insanity.
Anymore. I apologize to everyone involved. Crying about death threats and then talking about how you're currently in the hospital is going to become a recurring trend whenever Jake is faced with the consequences of his actions. It feels like the idea of death threats is the go-to response for anybody who says something dumb and then it blows up in their face because they accused a big content creator of something that they were not guilty of, and then they get backlash and then they immediately are like, people are being so mean to me. Like, obviously it's a bad thing to make a death threat towards anyone. I don't think you should do that, but you're making public public commentary videos on the internet about popular figures. Mean comments and insane people are pretty much par for the course, and at the end of the day, for the most part, it's all just words on a screen you don't have to worry about. Undoubtedly, Jake had made videos about people that had gotten a few schizos from his audience to go make death threats towards those people. That's not Jake's fault, but when he is in controversy, he will immediately cry wolf. And the funniest part about all of this is that the entire reason Jake even made the video is because he was a scorned fan who wanted revenge. Once again, we have another syndrome situation, all right? It's pretty nuts. Basically, Jake had been obsessed with H3 for years. He was a huge fan of him, and at one point he managed to actually get in contact with Ethan. The reason why being that the D'Amelio sisters, who are some of the most popular people on TikTok, they apparently didn't pay Jake for some photos he took for them. They owed him $500 and they did not pay him. And so Ethan saw this and was like, oh, I feel bad for you. And he had him on his show and he was like, I'll give you $500 because I feel bad for you.
Stay on the line. I'm going to send you $500 because the D'Amelio family didn't. Stop it. The D'Amelio family didn't pay you $500. I'm going to pay.
But in response, Jake said, no. I don't want the $500. I want a job.
If you look over my resume, can you keep your $500?
Stay on the line. Are you in LA?
He did say he was subscribed.
I'm not in LA. I'm remote, but love is killing it out of Sweden. I bet you I could kill it.
Okay, so stay on the line. I'm gonna give you the 500. I'm gonna give you the 500 to make you whole.
And Ethan said he would look at his resume, but Jake did not end up getting that job.
And also send your resume. Stay on the hold. We'll get both, okay?
And this is what began Jake's fan behavior arc, where he would basically nonstop message members of the H3 podcast, trying to get them to collab with him, almost all of which were ignored. Dear AB, come on my YouTube channel, please. I will not be ignored. My tip didn't show up on stream, but I did send a bribe. Hi, King. Hope you're good. AB Ayad is king. Make video with me. Come on my channel, please. This is me reminding you to come on my channel. Excuse me, are you doing videos with people now? Now, eventually, one of the crew members, AB, would bite the bullet and finally do a collab with Jake where they looked at TikToks. And it's very funny how Jake opens the video by calling him his pal.
Hi, sisters. Today I'm doing a video with my pal, AB.
Hello. How's it going?
You know, it's going great, man. I'm so happy to have you here. I've wanted to do a video with you for a while.
Look at this guy. He's my pal. We're friends. Didn't you know that I'm friends with one of the producers of the H3 podcast? I'm a part of the H3 fam now, guys. But this was simply not enough. According to AB, while at Creator Clash, Jake would approach him and ask to take photos of him, which he denied. Jake would then apparently find out where their hotel was so he could go up to AB and incessantly once again ask him for a collab.
How did he find you at the hotel? That was the part I found out.
Oh, yeah, no, the first Creator Clash, because it was a new thing, we didn't have all the security there that we should have, and so fans were finding out where we were staying and like waiting there all night in the lobby just for people to walk by, and he was one of the people that I saw there.
That's crazy. That's a weird fucking thing.
I'm guessing he just found out that's where it was, or maybe he got a badge.
AB apparently had no idea how he found their hotel, but he speculates that he could have used a fake press pass to get through, security or something like that. This is honestly like stalker territory. It's becoming dangerously close to like deranged fan seeks out YouTuber they like so that they can like have a relationship with them. He's like in love with AB or something. Now, all of this lore was revealed on the H3 podcast. Jake obviously was in a lot of hot water at the time, and he would end up apologizing for his insane video.
My intention was to stand up for a specific group of people, but instead I came across as an asshole.
The problem with his apology is it's very kind of non-specific. He doesn't really go into what he really did wrong, but he did apologize, so we got to note that. Now, when Rob's Media was covering all this stuff and the whole Jake Doolittle saga, he also touched on Jake's charity called Never Stop. And he talks about how he sells these shirts, but out of the profits of the shirts, only 10% of it goes to his charity. He basically makes the point that it feels like Jake is kind of using this charity to shield himself from criticism so he looks good. And looking back, it's honestly impressive how on the money he was 11 months before Jake dropped his most infamous single video to date.
Not only did I go live thinking that I could clear everything up in the span of 20 minutes while waiting for results from knee scans of the inside of my knee surgeries. It's also, I believe, why my knees, arthritis of the knee, my knee scans, left knee surgeries, my knee screws in, left knee screws out, right knee screws in, right knee screws out. Well, I showed you all my medical files, and I've shown you the inside of my knee.
So recently, as of me recording this video, Jake dropped a new video, a new upload that I was very excited to see because I'm a big fan of him, titled "I'm Frustrated with Commentary YouTubers," with a thumbnail including I'm Alex and Cody Ko, who are both pretty big commentary creators that have been alleged to be involved with crimes against women. Now, the thumbnail was changed pretty soon after to remove these people, but the important thing to note here is that the video has nothing to do with those specific people, at least as far as I know.
Today is going to be a little bit of a different video because I am frustrated with a lot of your favorite creators.
The premise of the video is essentially that Jake is very frustrated with other YouTubers that he knows because he asked them personally to donate to his non-profit charitable organization and they did not donate.
There has been no YouTuber who has ever inquired or donated any money to Never Stop.
He basically says, like, I messaged all these people and I told them about my charity and some of them didn't donate to me, some of them didn't give me money, which I found really bad, and I see how much money they're making on their closed friends story on Instagram, and they're making a lot of money, so they need to give me money.
A lot of these
That's some
YouTubers love
bullshit,
talking
bro.
about holding people accountable for their wrongdoings and all that kind of shit, but when I try to say, hey, if you have any extra money, we are giving $500 a month. I know that you just put on your close friend story that you're making 15 grand off this brand deal. Hey, I would love the help. My views are down, but you're getting, I don't know, 50,000 subs a month. What are we doing here?
And it gets even more insane as Jake then implies that he is going to expose some of these YouTubers, and one specific one apparently, in the future because they're not donating to his charity, and he's going to like try to nuke their career because they don't give him $500.
Throughout this video, I'm not going to name names, but I would like you to know that I am going to name names at some point, possibly next month or so, if my following up with these people amounts to nothing and I keep getting ghosted.
So not only is he acting extremely entitled and demanding that people donate to his specific charity, not only is he pocket watching them and being like, you make so much money, why don't you give it to me? But he's also essentially threatening to blackmail, or at least try to blackmail the people he DM'd by threatening to reveal the names of people who ignored his message.
I want someone to tell me why US senators and representatives are more likely to work with me than other influencers in the commentary space who I have talked to.
Personally, as a sociopath, a scholar of the 48 Laws of Power, and a member of the dark triad of psychology, I will say that I respect his attempt here, but it wasn't very effective. And when you see this controversy recently, it really makes you think like, he's crying about people who ignored his messages. This seems to be a pattern of behavior.
I will.
This guy does not like when you ignore his texts, and if you do ignore his texts, he might try to ruin your life. Ignoring his message is like a mental trigger for him to fly off the handle and become a supervillain.
My views are down, but you're getting, I don't know, 50,000 subs a month. What are we doing here?
Just because people are more popular than you and have more subscribers doesn't mean they have to buy one of your shitty Teespring shirts so 10% of the revenue goes to charity. It doesn't matter how rich you are. It does not make you a good person if you donate to charity. If you have $1 billion and instead of donating that to St. Jude's Children's Hospital, you instead decide to blow a hole in the side of Mount Rushmore, build a beautiful gamer cave, and then move Ninja in there so his braless wife can bring him sandwiches while he cranks 90s, that is
Alright, hold on. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry about that, everybody. Had to go do a few things. Alright. Where was I?
That is totally up to you, and you should not feel bad because you spend your money in a way that you like and want to. And YouTubers are also not obligated to respond to his messages or collab with him.
Because I'm petty and because this isn't about supporting me, it's about supporting people who need the support. I'll give a bunch of examples about how YouTubers have ghosted me and not wanted to help with Never Stop.
I don't even know why he would say this. Like, are you okay?
And I'm not doing this because I think that it's going to light a fire under influencers to donate to Never Stop, because it's not going to happen. This video is not going to do anything.
Then why are you making this video? YouTube is not a therapist you can just rant out all your frustrations to and expect a positive result. This is a public platform, and you are a commentary channel who makes a living off of criticizing other people. So admitting that this video will do nothing, to me, seems very strange, and to me also backs up the fact that this guy is so bitter. Now, as I mentioned, Jake talked about one specific influencer in this video that he was really peeved at. Some guy that he was messaging about potentially donating to his charity, to which that guy then ghosted him, I guess.
I give this person advice, and because they asked for it, right? And then after this call, I say, hey, I really appreciate that I was able to give you advice, but I would love some advice on how to grow my nonprofit, because I feel like you know a lot about this kind of stuff. I would love to talk. And I'm gonna send a follow-up this week, but if there's no response, I don't know what to do.
Sigma rule number 14, blackmail your friends.
And it's at this point we get to the part that made me make this whole video and do 7 live stream clips about him in the first place. He complains about the fact that because he made a video a year ago, which I assume was the Ethan Klein video, people don't want to work with him or do collabs with him anymore, as if he deserves to have a collab with him.
I mean, he's more
And because I
relevant
made
now
a
than he
video
ever
that
was.
wasn't received well a year ago, people don't want to work with me. But the problem is, when you're putting out as much content as I am, there's going to be videos that aren't received well. I feel like that's simple math. Just in the last 6 months, I've posted 73 videos. Who else is doing that?
I'm going to take a step back from my hater arc here and say that I do believe that pretty much everyone has the opportunity to grow and change as a person, and I don't think that, you know, things like this, even what Jake has done here, I don't think that should be held against him for the rest of his life, okay? I don't. Everyone does have the capacity to change and become a better person. But just because you feel that you've changed doesn't mean you get to cry about the fact that other YouTubers don't want to associate with you. You don't get to call them evil because they don't want to be involved with someone that tried to slander Ethan Klein and got blown out for it.
Who else is doing that?
When I was watching this for the first time, I thought he was trolling or something. I could not believe it. This video received a significant amount of backlash, even more than the H3 thing. It was almost universally hated, apart from a few glazers in his comment section trying to defend him, but really the majority of the consensus was that Jake made himself look like an entitled pussy, crying about people leaving him on red. And not only that, they also went on to criticize his charity. I'm not sure why someone would donate to Jake Doolittle. He helps a total of 12 people a year, half the buttons on his jank site don't work, and it's essentially a lottery to be chosen. Your money would be better spent literally anywhere else. I don't get it. Now, Jake did actually try to hide his video initially, because I watched it on live stream. I spent about, I don't know, an hour and 20 minutes watching the entire thing, and about half an hour later, the video was removed off of YouTube. But of course, that didn't stop some familiar faces from finding it and roasting him about it for 3 hours.
Who else is doing that? And
so many people, man. Again,
man.
this man is having delusions. Like, I don't know what's going on, but to be like, I'm posting 3 videos a week. Who else on YouTube is doing that? It's like,
Bro,
a lot of
There's
everybody.
that one girl who's been live for literally 3 years.
Yeah, like a million.
Yeah. Also,
I mean, a lot of them are posting a lot more than you, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
I just realized, as a side note, he shouldn't be talking about being left on red, because he left me on red. The last thing I said to him when I said, "Is he serious about making a video about you?"
Right, you tried to talk him
I
out
said
of it.
that is insane. I go, as a viewer, I'm honestly shocked that you would take that seriously in any way possible.
Now, Jake was very aware that this live stream was happening, and as a result, he decided to type in the chat and say, "Hey, can this wait? I'm actively in the hospital." I'm actively in the as opposed to passively, inactively in the hospital. Like, what does that even mean? But once again, this is the exact same thing that he cried about a year ago when Ethan called him out for trying to slander him. And obviously, Ethan ended up responding to that message and had some choice words.
Bro, are you crazy? You think you're gonna emotionally manipulate me into not watching this? Are you crazy, bro?
Now, for the time being, Jake was radio silent on YouTube. He had removed the video. He was in Ethan's comment section, but he wasn't responding to any of the criticism directly. But in his infinite wisdom, he decided to fire up a live stream on Instagram while he was in the hospital to talk about what was happening.
Oh, I released like a video like 2 days ago that was really bitter and annoyed. So this is me just checking in, saying hello, apologizing.
He kind of tacitly acknowledges that it was a bad video, but he doesn't really get into why. He kind of makes it seem like he's getting unjustly canceled or called out. And a large majority of it is also him saying that H3 is evil for punching down on little Jake.
You shouldn't feel the need to delete videos that are important to you. Yeah, but usually the videos that are important to me don't get, it's like a bad take usually. Like, people don't like it. You should go on H3 and talk with them. That won't do anything.
And he also talks about his knee surgeries a lot, which spawned a lot of memes.
I'm about to schedule 2 more knee surgeries. I have known.
Now, this live stream only went out to a few people when it happened because Jake has a pretty small following on his Instagram, but people obviously heard of it because he was in controversy and they decided to screen record it and upload it. One of those preservers, one of those uploaders was Rob's Media, who decided to archive both the original video from Jake and the live stream to his YouTube channel. Now, obviously this content is 1000% Jake's, and legally he's within his right to take down archives of it if he wants, but I would say it's probably bad practice to take these things down. Firstly, because Rob's Media is not making money off of his content, really. He's just re-uploading stuff that Jake posted so other people can access it. And on top of that, archives are extremely useful. A lot of media will be lost to time, either because of controversy, either because people just don't do a good job of preserving it, and Rob's Media, as a lost media aficionado, wanted to preserve this content. But Jake had a different idea.
Racists.
Jake Doolittle put a copyright takedown request and placed a strike on my second channel, Rob's Media Archive. Obviously, it's his content, but it's an archive. He's not doing this to protect his content, but instead to hide his mistakes instead of owning up to them.
Hi, sisters. It's Jake here, and I'm back with another video. And I'm here with my pal.
And another important thing to keep in mind here is when you take down content on YouTube, you can actually choose the way that it gets taken down. For example, when a YouTuber uses copyrighted music in a video, there are 2 options that usually go down. First off, they'll get a straight up copyright claim. And what that means is that the revenue from that video will be paid to the original copyright holder. So if you use a Foo Fighters song in your video, unedited in full, there's a high likelihood that the label will then claim your video and take money from it. But then there's another kind of claim, which is where a video will get blocked worldwide. Basically, the claimant has decided that they don't want people to be able to use that content on YouTube, and as a result, if you use that Foo Fighters song, what's going to happen? Your video is not able to be seen by anyone. But then there is a third option, which is the strike. You can manually choose to add a strike to that person's channel to penalize their livelihood. And of course, Jake, because he's spiteful and bitter, had to go out of his way to make sure there was a strike on Rob's Media's archive channel.
They make YouTube videos sexualizing Minecraft characters.
And not only that, he did it a second time to Rob's Media, meaning Rob had 2 strikes. It's the epitome of the cry bully mentality. It's flip-flopping between victim mode and then aggressively censoring your critics. On one hand, he's crying in H3's chat about the harassment, and on the other, he's vehemently taking down archives and striking Rob's channel and crying about how Ethan is punching down. Now, with everyone talking about Jake's original video, with them talking about his past, with the strikes being a big point of discussion and people just going in on Jake, obviously, he definitely felt the pressure to respond, and eventually, he actually would.
My last video sucked, and the following live stream of me in the hospital trying to see what my audience thought of the video and if everybody hated me was also a really stupid decision.
Off the bat, he acknowledges the controversy is happening. He acknowledges why it's happening. He doesn't seem to be making a lot of excuses for it.
There's a lot to address, and thinking that I could clear things up while on a vertical live stream holding the phone below my chin is clown behavior.
From here, Jake explains that he had just watched a video of another YouTuber ranting off the dome and then decided that he should do it himself about something he cared about. But he does willingly say multiple times, yes, my video was very bad. It was unscripted and I was ranting like a lunatic, but that's no excuse. He kind of does make a few excuses for himself, which, you know, they're probably true. This is probably the headspace he was in, but I just don't really care to hear about it.
But I thought that I could explain what was going on while in the ER, in a lot of pain, scans of the inside of my knee.
He talks about how during the time that this video was made, he had recently been denied insurance after multiple surgeries, and overall he was in a very bad mood.
I was very upset recording that.
What is strange about this is that he says that he does stand by some of the stuff he said in the video to this day, which I'm kind of struggling to figure out what that would be and where that would make sense, because I think the whole video was like pretty bad. Like, it's rare you get a video where every second of it is bad. But Jake's video was that. Jake also talks about how he came across as extremely entitled, and he now realizes that he is not entitled to anyone's money, and that basically everything he said was wrong in that regard.
The attitude and the tone, everything was bad. I came across as annoying and entitled, and I apologize for making people feel pressured and like hinting at outing people who didn't can donate.
But one part of the video that I take a big issue with is when he tries to explain that he didn't expect this video to leave his target audience.
I posted that video genuinely not thinking anyone would see it because our website is not functioning at all. I thought that people would recognize my frustration as me trying or showing people that I care.
But his actions don't really reflect that. I mean, in the original video, the thumbnail has Cody Ko and I'm Alex, who are two of the most popular commentary YouTubers probably ever. And on top of that, there are also two people who have been majorly exposed. So he gave it a very provocative title and a provocative thumbnail to get people to click it because he wanted views on it. This video is tailor-made to get as many people watching as possible. If he wanted to make a video for his core audience, which is a dumb idea in the first place because like you're uploading on a public platform where anyone can see your videos, but whatever. If he wanted to make a video for his core audience, it would just be like him in the thumbnail with like, let's chat about something dumb or let's talk about what I'm feeling today. But instead, he made a nice thumbnail. He wanted to get it marketed to as many people as possible. Now, another really cringe part of Jake's original video is when he says that no commentary YouTuber works as hard as him.
Just in the last 6 months, I've posted 73 videos. Who else is doing that?
And in this follow-up, he seems to acknowledge that that's not really the case, and he's just being very weird here with that. A majority of the apology is him saying, yeah, I said this thing was really stupid, here's my thought process and why I said it, but it's still stupid. But even if you're willing to buy his explanations for that stuff, it doesn't excuse the copyright strikes.
When it comes to the copyright claims themselves, they were straight re-uploads of the live stream and my original video that I took down at like 11,000 views. I retracted one of the strikes on the re-uploads because the person emailed me and asked me to retract it. I also felt bad because this person created a new YouTube account to try to re-upload archives, and they had already gotten like over 2,000 subs off of an archive channel.
Just because they were re-uploads does not mean that they shouldn't be re-uploaded for the sake of preservation. Jake even acknowledges that the purpose of it was for archiving, and he didn't really give a reason as to why he took these down as far as like why he really did it or why he felt like it would be a good thing to do. He kind of just moves on after saying, yeah, I copyright strike those, they were re-uploads, which in my opinion is not a very good explanation for why you did that. And he then goes on a tirade about how people accused him of faking his illness and he actually has the illness and he didn't fake his illness or whatever.
Well, I showed you all my medical files and I've shown you the inside of my knee tearing apart due to those diagnoses. I don't know what else I can give you.
Now, at the end of the day, where does all of that leave us? What position are we in? Well, I think that regardless of if this apology video is received positively or not by Jake's core fan base, his core audience, I think that this video will definitely discourage a lot of people from wanting to work with him again. Because making a mistake once is one thing, and I can, you know, have sympathy for that. And at the same time, making a mistake again is also something I can have sympathy for. But the problem is that Jake didn't just alienate a few little people out there who he doesn't really know. He didn't just alienate Orange Peanut or Rob's Media or Ethan Klein, which is three people that you probably don't want to alienate, but it wasn't just them. He also went out of his way to alienate himself from the very YouTubers he claims to respect and love so much. Jake Doolittle, at the end of the day, is not really even a commentary YouTuber. He is a commentary YouTube fan. He begs people for collab videos constantly. When he doesn't get his way, he has a mental breakdown about it. He seeks out AB in real life to take photos of him against his will. Frankly, I don't even want to imagine what his DMs are like with like Danny Gonzalez or Cody Ko. Who knows what he was like when he was asking them for collabs. At the end of the day, Jake to me seems like someone who just needs a friend. He just needs a hug. He just needs someone to respond to his DM. But I wouldn't count on that happening. In fact, what I'd instead count on is the fact that no commentary YouTuber is going to want to collab with this guy inside of a 5-year period. But that's about all for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed this longer video. Had a lot to say in this one. But, tomorrow I'll be back to reading nice.
Alright, I'll link that in the description again. Roulette. Alright. Actually, I'm gonna take a break real quick. We're gonna do a double BRB. BRB, baby, BRB, 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 BRB. Alright, I'm gonna start on the pre Shout out to Trifecta Farms. Best shit ever, dude. Crazy you can get a fucking ounce for like good shit for like $90. I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, I could get it for 30, bro. Well, legally in my area, I can literally go to a smoke shop and get an ounce of fucking. I mean, I know that THC percentage doesn't really matter, but like 35%. Even though I also know that they're just, the way they do the testing is kind of bogus anyway. Because they only test the best plant out of like an entire group of plants. And like the top of that best plant. It's kind of crazy when you think about it. If they're allowed to do that. You know what, we'll go with this. No. You know what, I'll make a new purple. With the white. Did I run out of white? I think I ran out of white. Let's find a big tube. I just turned it. Ooh. I like that. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. I'm so silly. Alright. Alright, UFD Tech.
This is the coolest B580 I've seen. We now know more about Sony's From Software takeover, and we have some indication on what the RTX 5080 and 5090 pricing might look like. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news that I can find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Friday, December 20th, 2024. We're getting close to the end of the year, and yesterday we held the giveaway for the Thermaltake Tower 600 PC over on Twitch. Thank you to everybody who tuned into that, which means we are now on to the next PC giveaway, which is this 14900KF 4090 PC. We're going to be drawing that winner sometime in January, but in case you want to get your entries in, you can come join us over on Twitch, twitch.tv/UFD Tech. We'd love to have you there. And I, for one, would love to have this graphics card by Maxim, who does not really sell things in the United States, so it makes me a little sad. But this is the B580 coming in with not just one, but two M.2 slots for you to add your storage onto. So you can get a $250 banger GPU and then add 8 terabytes of storage onto it. This is actually kind of an interesting way of doing it. We've seen different GPUs in the past that have allowed for M.2 storage. I believe the most recent one I can think of is the Asus 4060 Ti. This one takes a different approach. The 4060 Ti had a space on the PCB where you slotted in the SSD. This one just lets it overhang on the side. You see, based on the cooling shroud in the PCB, that it actually overhangs to where the SSDs are going to go, and the GPU cooler is longer than the actual GPU itself, and so it kind of holds it down, and it makes it accessible without you having to take the entire cooler off in order to swap out the SSDs, which is nice. It's a very intriguing way set up. Obviously, this creates some issues with PCI Express bifurcation and potentially not getting enough speed on your B580 if you're running something like a PCI Express 3.0 setup, but if you're on 4.0, it likely will be okay. But I gotta tell you, I'm always a fan of these quirky little GPUs, the things that just companies make their own, make it better for the end consumer, which is exactly what today's video sponsor does, Falcon Northwest, who's been in the game for over 30 years. You want to talk about a company that makes things for their customers and does it for them? Just look at Falcon Northwest. Not only can they match their pre-built PCs to be bespoke to you, like me, the one I have at home has Reese's giant face on it. I look at the Deal Master every time I sit down to game. If you get Reese's consent, you could probably get Falcon Northwest to do it for you too. But Falcon Northwest has been in the pre-built game for over 30 years, since 1992. They've been taking care of their customers since then and making their way into the gaming market. And they were the first company to build PCs specifically for gaming all the way back then when Reese was still just in his mom's tummy. They have a whole range of options for you gamers. You want a mid-tower PC like I have, the Talon, that's what I game on. You can grab that. You could also grab the Frag Box, which has got a nice little handle, very compact for traveling in case you're on the road a lot and you need to bring a LAN station with you, or you just want something that you can lift up and down while you're gaming. They also additionally have the smallest one of the bunch, the Tiki, for just very low profile but very power dense gaming when you need something to just kind of sit off to the side from your monitor. And through all of the charity giveaways that we've done, as well well as the Talon that we reviewed, you can see that Falcon Northwest has customized them in special SYNGAP Research Fund liveries to make sure that they are representative of what we've tried to do during our charity streams. But they're not just for gamers, they've also got workstations. Their Threadripper workstation was named one of PC Mag's best products of 2024, and with the quality that I've seen from their gaming PCs, it's not hard to guess why the Threadripper station's doing so well. And every PC is built specific to each client's order down to the custom artwork. They come with 3-year warranties, especially with the initial first year having overnight service being standard. If they can't figure out what potentially is popping up as an issue with your PC remotely, they will make sure that it gets overnight shipped to them and back to you so that you're not without your PC for too long. They also include coffee and coffee mugs in every PC that we've gotten from them. And when Intel was having their issues with the Raptor Lake and Raptor Lake refresh, Falcon Northwest was sending me emails with all of their discoveries on how I could prioritize my system settings to make sure that the system instability was resolved before Intel was even coming out with an acknowledgement of the situation. Falcon Northwest prioritizes their customers. It's not hard to see why they've been in business for over 3 decades. I wish them another good 3 decades, hopefully a little bit more. But you can check out Falcon Northwest with all of their products for yourself at the link in the video description. Whether it's for gaming with the Talon, the Tiki, or the Fragbox, or it's with one of their workstations, you won't be disappointed. Go with Falcon Northwest. Check them out down below in the comments. But speaking of, diagnosing issues and hiccups that are going on with gaming PCs, Microsoft coming out and acknowledging that if you have auto HDR enabled on Windows 11 24H2, that might be crashing your games, so disable it for the time being. Certain popular games like Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Need for Speed Unbound, they are having the issue where the auto HDR is just crashing the game, so in case you've been experiencing that, maybe turn that off. And people are turned off by what Sony's doing with From Software, the game company that's brought us the hit game Elden Ring, as well as things like Bloodborne and Dark Souls, Armored Core, a lot of fan favorites. There were rumors coming out that Sony was going to acquire the parent company of From Software and thereby bring them under their umbrella. But now the details of that agreement have come out, and it's nowhere near as bad as everybody catastrophized that it was going to be. Sony is involved with the parent company of From Software, Katakawa, but that is only to the tune of 10% ownership, roughly $300 million in shares. So now they are the largest shareholder of this company, but again, still only 10%. They will have a massive seat at the table, but it doesn't look like Sony's going to be able to unilaterally make decisions when it comes to the future of From Software games. So it's not as bad as people were catastrophizing. Maybe this might yield some PlayStation exclusive Elden Ring cosmetic DLC in the future, but I wouldn't expect that this is going to make it so that all of a sudden Sony now has the rights to Dark Souls 5 and 4 moving forward, and it's only going to be a PlayStation 6 exclusive. And Reese has exclusively been experiencing a ton of bad luck when it comes to power since he's visiting his parents for Christmas. Reese, I hope you have deals today. I hope you have power today. It's been rough, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yo, welcome back to UFD Deals, bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet. Happy Friday, everyone. And hey, I have power, so I have more deals for you. Starting off today, we have this ASRock Phantom Gaming 27-inch 1080p 165Hz IPS gaming monitor for only $99.70, making it $80.22 off. But then if you want a bit of an upgrade from the Xbox controller we showcased the other day, you can grab the Microsoft Elite Series 2 wireless controller for only $119.99, making it $60 off. And then lastly, today we have the KingSpec XG7000 NVMe M.2 SSD with the 4TB version going for $190.99 with included promo code, making it $52 off. And hey, with that, the deals are done. You can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But until next time, I'm gonna hand you off back to Brett for the rest of your hot news. Cheers.
Well, Reese, it looks like DJI is getting a decent deal when it comes to the ban that was supposed to impact them just in a couple days. They were supposed to be banned at the end of 2024 for national security reasons. This is the same thing that we're hearing about TikTok, the same thing that we're now just hearing about TP-Link, the US government trying to ban companies that are unduly influenced by the Chinese government, and with a recent defense bill that was part of the agreement in that $900 billion package. But there is a provision where DJI can get an extra year to prove to an appropriate national security agency that it doesn't pose a national security risk for the United States. So that's what DJI is now going to have to do over the course of the next year to showcase that their products are not going to be unduly influenced by the Chinese government and make sure that the US feels comfortable with them. And if they can't produce that, then allegedly, as long as nothing changes in the next year, DJI could potentially be banned going into 2026. So there's a lot of tech companies that are currently being affected by the geopolitical geopolitical situation that's happening. We'll keep you up to date on all of that. More details as we get them from TP-Link, more details as we get about TikTok and DJI. We'll let you know. But ChatGPT is not being restricted, it's being freed. OpenAI decided to have a 12 days of ChatGPT, kind of like a 12 days of Christmas thing, and on day 10, they announced that you can now call and or WhatsApp ChatGPT in case you're out of your mobile data and you can't think for yourself, or you need to have a recipe whipped up to you real fast. You can call toll-free 1-800-ChatGPT, and that will allow you to actually have a voice call with ChatGPT. If you're outside the United States, you can just WhatsApp this number, but that's 1-800-242-8478 in case this is interesting to you. I think the idea that you can call it if you run out of data is kind of neat. That's like a nice little implementation. I don't know. Does this intrigue you? Are you impressed by this? Are you going to be talking to ChatGPT more? Let me know down below in the comments. Well, I'd let you know that we are finding out more and more details about the RTX 50 series as the days drag on, and companies are accidentally whoopsie-doodling, talking about a lot of stuff. And now we have some pre-built PCs indicating that there might be extreme prices coming to the RTX 5090 and 5080. Again, take this with a grain of salt. Pre-release prices do change all of the time. We've heard from different board partners like EVGA that NVIDIA sometimes will change the price last minute so that they don't even know what the price is this far in advance, even though we're expecting to get the announcement of these cards in 2 weeks. Jensen could decide as he's going up on stage to change the price, and we just have to deal with it. But there's two different PCs that are being listed with Arrow Lake CPUs with a 5090 and a 5080. The 5090 version is coming in at 6,000 euro. The 5080 version is coming in at 3,500 euro, which means there's a 2,500 euro difference going from the 5080 to the 5090 in this setup. Now, there are other increases that you can see here. It increases the CPU from a Core Ultra 7 to a Core Ultra 9. It increases from 32 gigs of RAM to 128, and from a 1 terabyte SSD to a 2 terabyte SSD. So some of that pricing is obviously going to be the extra components that are being accounted for. Video Cards says that even if you account for that, you're still looking at between 1,500 and 1,750 euro price difference for just the graphics card component. Now, does that mean that the 5090 is going to be nearly $2,000 more expensive than the 5080? Probably not. There's profit margins going in on this. It's hard to completely say, but it does look like it's the GPUs aren't going to get cheaper, which is something that we probably could have assumed. And if you want to know how these pre-builds compare to the current generation of the 4080, 4090, unfortunately, I can't find anything comparable of the Orion 700 because they don't stock it in the Core Ultra. You can price it out with a 12700K and a 3080, which does not help us in this situation. So it's not quite clear how much more the 5080 is going to cost from the 4080, especially because you got the Core 2 Ultra stuff going on. $3,300 is what we're looking at for this 14700KF, which is like roughly comparable, but it's not exactly, especially because it's outdated hardware at this point. So how much more expensive it's going to be than the 40 series, again, doesn't seem to be clear, but don't expect it to get cheaper would be what I would say. And continuing in that vein, Pallet is just saying all of the GPU names. They're just filing everything they possibly can with the EEC because this allows them to actually sell them when time comes for that to happen. They're just putting every GPU name that they could. You got the 5050, 5050 Ti, 5050 Super, 5050 Ti Super, 5060, 5060 Ti, 57, 5070 Ti, 5070 Super, 5070 Ti Super, 5080, 5080 Ti, 5080 Super, 5080 Ti Super, 5090, 5090 Ti, 5090 Super, 5090 Ti Super. Likely half of those are made up GPUs that will never hit the light of day, but they are getting ready. 50 series does look like it is fierce and incoming, and you guys did that with the comments yesterday. Fierce and came in on to the comments to tell me what you thought. A lot of you agreeing that the B580 is a banger. Frontier Gaming saying B580 is saving the industry and my wallet. And then Kusu saying the B580 is an A grade card. And then some people responded, no, it's S grade. You ranked it too low. Space Raider saying, I just hope whoever takes over for Pat Gelsinger won't kill Ark now that it's finally making some headway. I wouldn't hold your breath on that. Obviously, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know what the future holds. Intel has a lot of different areas where they could probably tighten their wallets and their purse strings and make sure that they are focusing on their core competencies. I really think the GPU is one of them. I don't know if executives would see it that way, especially with them having very, very little market share, and still being a nascent player in the situation. I really hope, I really, really, really hope that they keep it going. I want to see Celestial, I want to see Druid, I want to see what Intel is going to continue to do down the line. Please, if anybody from Intel hears this, keep your graphics card division. And then GK Squid saying, TP link banned? You mean we have to wipe one piece of TP at a time? And then Dave the Man saying, I have the B580, you lucky, lucky person. Its drivers need some work, but overall works very well. In some cases, it scales better than it should. My 3060 couldn't play World of Warcraft at 4K without major lag. Somehow this card is 4K, no problem, 144 plus. No crashes for me yet, no blue screens. The only thing I've experienced is odd frame spikes depending on the game, but usually it only lasts until the shaders are cached. I'm very excited to see where the drivers go from here. They will only get better. It's not a given. I'm very excited actually. If the A series is anything to go by, I can expect even more performance being squeezed out of this card. I think games like Spider-Man, Dying Light, etc. show what the card could be doing in all games. They just need to optimize better for all of them. This card is a good investment, and it runs super cold. Steel Legend version doesn't use much power either. I'm excited for you. I'm glad that you have it. I hope that the drivers get better. I think this is a core philosophy I try to mentally abide by, and that is progress is not inevitable. Progress and developments and improvements are not inevitable. They have to be worked for. They have to be gained. They have to be earned. And so I really hope that the drivers will get better. I really hope that Intel continues down this path, but obviously with the shifting sands of what's going on with their executive team, it's hard to know. It's hard to know how much priority the software driver team is going to get, how much money, how much affordability they're going to get in terms of making the right decisions for the customer, or are they just going to have to abide by strict corporate structures? It's not inevitable that things will go well in the future. And then Kate Clary saying, I really don't understand why the 7900 XTX gets so much hate. It is an excellent GPU. Driver updates have only improved it over time. I agree with the comment that was right below it. What hate? All I heard was people talking about how you should get the XTX instead of the XT because the price difference was so low. I really didn't see that much hate for the XTX. I really only saw love for the XTX. It was a great GPU at $1,000, especially when it was undercutting the 4080 by 200 bucks. When the 4080 Super came out at $999, with that price drop, it became less compelling, but then you could get it on sale. The 7900 XTX at that point was going as low as $650, 700 bucks. So you could really get a great value there. I think a lot of people agree that the 7900 XTX is a good performer. The only thing to hate on it is that it's power inefficient. It is just it's a power hog compared to the 40 series. You get 4090 power consumption for 4080 level performance, and that's not a trade-off a lot of people we're happy to make, but I don't know. I didn't hear much hate for the 7900 XTX. I like it. I like it a lot. And then we got Sven saying, Final Fantasy VIII introduced timing attacks for turn-based combat for me. Shoot the gun while you hit the blade. Good times. The Renzoku-ken is like the limit break. Such good times. Oh man. I should play Final Fantasy VIII on my Steam Deck again. I'm not gonna, but I feel like I should. And I feel like I should end this episode of Hot News. We'll be back here for more of the hottest tech news next week, my friends. Obviously, next week, there's a lot of holidays that are coming up over the next few weeks. So Hot News will try to be on some sort of general cadence when it comes to our releases. We should have a Christmas Eve episode and a Boxing Day episode, but probably not a Christmas Day episode, and definitely not a New Year's Day episode. So we'll keep you updated. Again, if you want to come watch and join us over on our Twitch streams, twitch.tv/UFD Tech, entering into the giveaway for this 4090 PC right here. Love to have you join us for that. I'll see you back here next week.
Oh. Hey, what's up, man? We have 15 followers. Thank you for following. Can I react to the song? I can't react to songs, unfortunately. It will immediately detect it and mute it. I can listen to it off stream though and react to it though, which I definitely will do. I'll try to make a video to it. All right. Let's see what we got. Yeah, roulette. All right, I'm gonna copy that address. Oh shit! Actually, that just reminded me. Hold on a second. Where is our? I think I broke it actually. Ads. Did I break it? Oh dear God. I think I lost the picture. I think that's what happened. Alright, well, we are kind of sponsored by Dubby Energy, and if you go to the description and use my link, and put in code GOODBAD, you'll get 10% off. I keep forgetting to do that. Okay. What do we got here? Roulette. Alright, fuck it.
Good morning, everybody. Hope your day is off to a good start. We are sort of barreling towards a potential government shutdown tonight, if nothing changes. So Emily and I just wanted to give you a little update on what has happened since Breaking Points aired yesterday. Great to see you, Emily. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Thanks for having me, Crystal.
Yeah, of course. I need you to interpret what's going on in the Republican side of the ledger here. So let me just give people a little bit of an update. So yesterday we heard from Trump and Musk and others that they had a new deal in order to avert this government shutdown. So basically they need to fund the government, and Trump also wants them to extend the debt ceiling or get rid of the debt ceiling altogether, which is something I would certainly support. And so he put out this statement here: success in Washington, Speaker Mike Johnson and the House have come to a very good deal for the American people. The newly agreed to American Relief Act of 2024 will keep the government open, fund our great farmers and others, and provide relief for those severely impacted by the very devastating hurricanes. A very important piece vital to the America First agenda was added as well. The date of the very unnecessary debt ceiling will be pushed out 2 years to January 30th, 2027. Now we can make America great again very quickly, which is what the people gave us a mandate to accomplish. So you guys will probably recall there originally was a deal that had been negotiated between Democratic and Republican leadership that both included continuing government funding and also had a lot of other pieces. So there was something that would rein in pharmacy benefit managers. There was money for research.
We're coming up on 2 hours, so I think I'm going to switch over to a Path of Exile 2 stream. So after I do a couple more of these, I'm gonna end this stream and I'm gonna start back up with a packet with the game tag. So I'm gonna let this play for a little bit longer, do some more painting, and then we'll switch over to a game stream.
To pediatric cancer, a whole bunch of other priorities that were put into there as well. And that's what Elon Musk and some of the Republicans began vociferously objecting to and caused that whole thing to fall apart, leaving this process in total chaos. So this announcement from Trump is, hey guys, we have another new deal that includes fewer of those other things, more just sort of like closer to a quote unquote clean continuing resolution, plus extension of the debt ceiling that they negotiated amongst themselves. That went to a floor vote yesterday, and, spoiler alert, it did not end up passing. But Emily, before we get to some of the more details, what was your initial reaction to the contours of this deal as it was laid out?
Yeah, so exactly what you just said, in the sense that this is 2014, basically. This feels like the fights 2015, the fights against John Boehner, with one major difference. Back then it was Jim Jordan and Mark Meadows putting together the House Freedom Caucus and saying, we are always going to object to omnibus bills. Mike Johnson comes in after Kevin McCarthy and says, we're not doing omnibus bills. We're not going to do it. So you are always going to have the Chip Roys, the Thomas Masseys of the world opposing what Mike Johnson negotiated, and he probably would have had to have Democrats vote for it in order to get this bill passed, and
Right.
it probably would have. But this is what happened. Elon Musk and Vivek, now that they are in charge of the Advisory Department of Government Efficiency, realized they could not stay quiet on what Johnson was about to do, which was a very normal, conventional Washington compromise in order to avoid a Christmas shutdown. But they knew they couldn't just shut up because this thing had like funding for the Global Engagement Center, which has funded places that like suppress conservative websites and all of those. Like that, you can't, if you're head of Doge, say, oh, but we'll fix it next year. So because they intervened, this became dramatic, and it wasn't going to be at all. And normally you would have had the exact same people protesting. The only difference this time around is they got a shot in the arm from Elon and Vivek, and that's where everything sort of spun into the drama.
Yeah, so originally, just for people to recall, Republicans control the House, but the margin is very, very narrow. So if you even have a handful of dissenters say, nope, not voting for an omnibus deal, then you're done. You have to work with the Democrats. So that's what they did. Johnson had negotiated this. He seemingly felt that he had the blessing of Trump in terms of these original negotiations. And it certainly appeared, although, we'll get to the Trump people really push back on this, but it certainly appeared like Elon jumps in and forces Trump's hand, because Trump doesn't really care about austerity. He has not positioned himself as an austerity politician. In fact, he's really positioned himself opposite of that. And it's part of how he was so successful in terms of the Republican Party. And so he's fine with what they're negotiating. Elon starts tweeting up a storm, causes a ruckus, creates this kind of collapse in support among the Republican caucus. So it's not just now a few dissenters, but it's most of the caucus. So you no longer have a deal that's tenable that can be passed. So that all falls apart. The new deal that they struck,
it's like my brain knows when I'm exactly at 2 hours. All right. I was gonna just switch it over, but I think I can. Can I switch this? Oh, I can. Okay. Oh. Okay. Alright, 1 second. We're gonna switch over. Path of Exile. Alright, I gotta change this too. Then POE2. Okay. Done. Alright, so we don't need that. Alright. Give me a second. I'm gonna go through a couple technical things. Why did that go full screen? Go up here. Stop that. Okay. Scenes. No, sources. Oh, I have to fucking update it. 1 second. Why are all these updating right now? Oh, it's paused. Okay, never mind. Almost done. Oh, maybe I need to close it. Update, you motherfucker. Sorry. I'm trying to update the stupid Xbox. app. All right, I'm going to switch to. All right, let's see if I can get it right. Single player Xbox. Okay, here we go. Okay, that's on. Chat's on there. Okay, now we're gonna turn off single player React. So zoomed in. Oh my god. What is this box? What is this thing? Where is the actual, like... I'm really confused. Okay, what? You know what? Let me look it up. I'm gonna pop it up on... see what that looks like. It looks weird. It is filling the screen, right? Looks like it is. Okay. Oh, right, that's what it was. Okay. Alrighty, lock it up. Alright, cool. Alright, let's do this shit. Clear this out so I'm not taking up all my internet. Okay, I think we're good. Oh fuck, I need to move a little more. Here. I gotta change the settings too. The quality is probably all fucked up. There we go. That's better. So many extension cords. Fuck. God damn it. How many battery do I got? 33%. Alright, that's fine. Uh-oh. There we go. Ooh, that's not looking so hot. God damn it, why is it going away? Alright. Oh, why is it? Upscale mode. Wait, do I have audio? Oh my god. Okay, we're good. We need performance, I think, right? That's what it was. And then dude. Okay, it hasn't been this bad. What in the... What the fuck is going on? I like lost my mouse. Oh Christ. Hey. okay? This might not be possible today. I don't know why, though. A real hard time with this. There's got to be a better way to do this. Where are we going? I thought I was supposed to go... Oh, down there. Okay.
Outcasts currently make...
Wait, how the fuck do I get over there? Oh, do I have to like...
Can't do that here.
Oh, here we go. Oh, I can't see chat either. Hold on. Why won't it allow me to... It like won't let me use it. Hold on. I'm sorry. This is really annoying. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn this TV off that I'm using over here. Alright, 1 second. I don't have any other information on there. Oh God, what did I do? What did I do? Yo, my computer is just like freezing up now. Oh no. Bro, what happened? Dude, it will not let me use my mouse. Like, once it goes into this, like, my just stays stuck. Why is it sizing up like that? Such a specific window. Like, what? Wait. Isn't there another... Oh, oh, never mind. Oh, for fuck's sake. Why can't I just... Dude, what? Like... Well, this is a touchscreen, I guess. Alright, bro. Fucking break, dude. Alright, well, I might have to call this. I can't even get out of this now. I God, this thing's a... Ow. What is going on? Oh man, shit just went down hardcore. Okay, I think that's gonna... Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna be doing a gaming stream today. I'm gonna try to fix it behind the scenes, but yeah, I don't know what is going on. We didn't really have any problem with this before, so I don't... This is really strange. So, alright. I guess I'll call it for now. You know what? Let me go back to the stream information. And I'm just gonna put it as a, what was it? What's it called? Where you talk. It's called, oh my god. Oh my god, what's the name of it? It's true. I have lost my mind. 100%. Bro, what's the name of my own thing? Just chatting. Holy Christ. I can't believe I couldn't find that. Alright. Okay. Oh, what's going on in there? Hey, you. You ever look past the camera? Alright. Alright, I'm gonna call it, normal mode, but, let's just fucking get out of here. Alright. To the outro! Thank you, everybody. Thank you for 15. We got 15. We're getting closer to 25 every day, baby. Shout out to everybody who stops by every time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And anybody new, your name will be at the end of this outro that I am about to play right now. Whoops.